21st century, climate change has slowly been destroying our world. And it seems as though there are only two routes we can take to save our planet. A, relinquish our taker lifestyle and abandon our aircraft, or B, fix our climate problem with technology.
Our first option, abandoning society, would be impractical and unrealistic. We would have to go back to the Stone Age, and one could even argue that billions would die due to us humans having far outgrown our carrying capacity. So we must take the second option, persisting and fixing global warming with technology. But isn't it ironic to use technology to solve the consequences of technology? Ishmael would say that these technological innovations epitomize the metaphor of pedaling harder, but we simply have to pedal harder since it's our only viable option.
Other options like building connections with nature or talking to plants may make you more conscious of your carbon footprint. If everyone could do so, we wouldn't need new technology to fight global warming.
But that's not the case. Most people wouldn't be able to make these connections with nature, meaning we need a more practical solution to fight climate change for all those people, some of which we will be presenting to you today.
But before that, we want to show you a pie chart listing the global greenhouse gas emissions by economic sector. As you can see, the main contributors of greenhouse gases are the industrial, transportation, and electricity production and agricultural sectors.
The first company we're going to talk about is Fuel Gems. They created a product that would address the greenhouse gas emissions in the industrial and transportation sector.
Fuel Gems is a company that manufactures a highly effective yet cheap and accessible fuel additive. The idea is that this fuel additive uses tiny microdoses of carbon-based nanoparticles to reduce the damaging effects fuel has on the environment. It does this by cleansing gasoline, diesel, and biofuel. It is said to be the most powerful fuel additive in history that makes gasoline cars as clean as electrical cars. The Fuel Gems additive would make refineries and vehicles' carbon emissions drop by 9%, poisonous carbon monoxide emissions by 15%, and the release of unburnt hydrocarbons and other dangerous particulate matter by up to 50%. Fuel Gems CEO Kirill Gachon's plans on this additive being implemented in most refineries around the world.
And here is a video demonstrating how Fuel Gems would work. So first you would pour the additive into your fuel filler in your car, making its way to the gas tank, and it would mix with the gas and makes it so that the exhaust created when the gas is used to make energy, or the exhaust wouldn't be as harmful as when it doesn't have fuel gems in it. The next technology we're going to talk about is biotechnology. This addresses the agricultural economic sector.
Agriculturists have recently been genetically modifying their crops so that they are resistant to pests, droughts, herbicides, increased temperatures, disease, and can stay fresh longer.
This means that plants can live longer to sequester more carbon, fewer pesticides would be used, and there would be less food waste.
This would be ideal because a report released by the IPCC states that pesticides contribute to a large part of greenhouse gas emissions in the agriculture sector. In California alone, 200 million pounds of agricultural pesticides are used each year, 40 million of which are fumigants.
And when fumigants are released into the atmosphere, they contribute to nitrous oxide emissions, a greenhouse gas 300 times more potent than carbon dioxide.
The final technology we're talking about is fusion energy, a developmental machine that would address greenhouse gas emissions in the industrial and electrical economic sectors.
The picture on the screen is a fusion reactor. In simple terms, it would spin molecules around and make them slam into each other, creating an insane amount of heat energy that can later be converted to electrical energy. This fusion process already takes place on the sun and is why it can create massive amounts of energy for so long while primarily being made of hydrogen. Scientists estimate that through fusion, one drop of heavy water could produce the amount of energy equivalent to 20 gallons of oil while creating zero greenhouse gases in the process.
One might think that a lot of carbon is emitted during the production of the hundreds of fusion reactors. While that is true, the amount of clean energy created would offset its carbon footprint, and there would be a net decrease in carbon emissions. This technology has the potential to completely replace the burning of fossil fuels as an energy source, which accounted for 74% of US greenhouse gas emissions in 2019.
Seeing the potential of this technology, countries like the US, Russia, and Japan have started programs to create the first working fusion reactor.
And although fusion reactors are still in development, just last month, scientists in the UK have made a significant breakthrough in harnessing the power of fusion energy. They can harness more than double the amount of energy through fusion than all previous tests beforehand.
And with that, we've shown you just a few kinds of technology that can help fight global warming in the economic sectors contributing most to climate change.
If we allow our scientists and engineers to create cutting-edge technologies that reduce greenhouse gas emissions, we will be able to conquer climate change, and it will certainly be more effective than trying to make everyone connect with nature.
We would be able to live in a world where we get to keep all of our luxuries, like driving cars or using airplanes, while still being able to stay carbon neutral or even carbon negative. And that is why we must fix the consequences of our technology with more technology.
In Eisenstein's words, human creativity is limitless. There is no problem we can't solve if we put our minds to it.